What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. We are your hosts, Chase and Myles, and we are at the Lucky Duck.
Woo!
Thank you.
We're here today.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing great moments, good cocktails, and great company. It's just me and Myles today. Myles?
Yeah. I came today because I wanted to be on the podcast.
Yep.
Wanted to talk about some things. I won't spoil the episode. You're going to have to listen to the episode.
Yeah, listen through. We got some big news.
Let's just say there may be some spooky shit coming up.
Uh-oh.
Because it's pretty much Halloween.
Uh-oh.
This episode came out on Halloween.
I guess now we have to release it on Halloween. There's no takesies backsies.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty nervous today.
You're really nervous. Why? What makes you so nervous?
Because today's cocktail is something a little special.
Ooh.
And I saw how you made it, and I'm a little bit nervous to try it.
Ooh, I'm a little nervous myself. Let's just say I had to wash my hands several times through the preparation of this drink. And why is that, Myles?
Because today we are having a habanero margarita. Boom. And the habanero comes from a habanero powder that I got from, I think it's called Kick-Ass is the brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they make popcorn, they make hot sauce. I got cornbread, which is really weird. It was spicy cornbread. And they were like, put the packet in. Put less if you don't want it to be so spicy. I put in like less than a quarter of the packet, and I couldn't eat the cornbread.
It was just too.
It was so spicy.
Much.
Yeah. And I was like, "What? Who does this?"
I do have to say I did have a little sneak peek of it, and I got some dust, some habanero powder dust on my fingers, and I just kind of lightly dabbed my tongue with the fingertip. Just to see how what we're dealing with, and my tongue's still a little burning.
Yeah,
and that was like a good 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I saw you dump probably like half of the packet in there.
It was a good amount. This is gonna be a spicy one, boys.
All right, let's try it.
All right, cheers. Hey, cheers to you folks at home. You can catch this recipe on Instagram if you want to drink along with us. This is it's got some blackberry liqueur in it, Myles. Here we go.
All right,
sippy. Cheers.
Oh.
It's got some spice.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy.
It's got some spice to it. It doesn't, not quite right away, but like almost like an afterburn.
You know what?
It's pretty bearable.
Have to wash this spice down with a motherfucking Bud Light.
Bud Light. Get your Bud Light today at acttheluckyduck.com/Bud Light.
God damn it. Yeah, Bud Light's our sponsor, basically.
Yeah, basically.
They've been really hurting lately because of the weird political controversy that people made up. So they were like, "Hey, we will give you free Bud Light," and we said, "Yeah."
And we said fine. I mean, there's no strings attached, but I just want to take the next 15 minutes to explain why I think Bud Light's such a great beer.
Do it.
All right. So point number one, and this next part takes about 5 minutes to get through, but Bud Light is brewed with three simple things: water, barley, and something else. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go into Bud Light. I do like Bud Light though.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
good. Like we sometimes go to this Mexican restaurant kind of close to us, and this last time they didn't have Bud Light, which we were kind of upset about. I don't know if we're going to be going back, but it's good when you're just having some chips and dip. You don't want something real heavy. Like I dig a craft beer or something, whatever. But just having this light, like it's kind of the taste of beer, It's like having a LaCroix of beer.
Yeah. It's basically mostly 110% water.
Right.
There's probably more water than anything else in there.
Yeah, they throw in a little bit of alcohol, which is where you're getting your calories from.
Yep.
Didn't they come out with a no calorie? Or it was like a 10-calorie beer, Bud Light or something?
No, I don't think so.
What was the one that when we had Logan on?
Oh.
It tastes like sunscreen.
Yeah, that was, I think that was Michelob Ultra or something.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was Bud.
Maybe it was Bud. Or maybe it was like Bud Light Seltzer Bud or something like that. I don't know.
That might have been what it was. I think it was a seltzer or something. I don't know. It was basically like like even less of a beer taste than Bud
Yeah.
Light, and it had a hint of sunscreen. It's so weird. So
it kind of grew on you.
I haven't seen it.
Kind of grew on me. A little bit.
Yeah, because you had to finish it.
Sunscreen, yeah.
What?
Sunscreen taste. I love sunscreen. You know? You don't
I don't know if I can come
eat-
back from that.
you don't eat sunscreen?
No, I mean, sometimes I do, like when I put it on my face, usually because I try to put it around my lips, because your lips are still exposed to the sun. You don't want to be getting cancer on your lips. So I try to put it like not inside where I'd be getting into my mouth, but around. But then I'll go out, like we went out this morning and it was hot out. So I started sweating, and then it sweats a little bit into your mouth. And then you start tasting that
It's a little
sunscreen,
treat.
and you're like, "Fuck! I could have had a Bud Light."
Yeah, you're like this is a little mid disc golf treat,
Yeah.
you know? Like
Why do you keep talking about it like it's you like it?
I love well, first off, do you ever just like buy the sunscreen that like foams up? It's like a creamy whipped. It's called whipped sunscreen. Dude, you pour a little bit of that whipped. It looks like you want to take a bite of it.
Have you? You put some pineapple on it, like some pineapple juice.
I may have
bit of coconut.
I may have dipped some strawberries in it. You know,
I feel like you make a pina colada.
it's like when you are when you buy the fruit platter, and they've got like that yogurt in the middle, and you just replace that with the little whipped sunscreen thing, and you'll be good to go.
I don't think so. It's
No?
not the same. Have you done that at a party and no one's noticed?
Man.
They're like, man, this dip kind of tastes like sunscreen.
I may be a menace.
Hold on, did you put it in the Bud Light?
I may be a menace to society that way.
You're, this is killing me.
Yeah. This is so we're recording this around Halloween.
Yeah,
We don't know when it's gonna come out. Maybe Halloween.
maybe Halloween. When's Halloween?
Halloween's on a Tuesday this year. And speaking of holidays, I was also like for my job looking up holidays to like help market some things, leveraging like national cheeseburger day or national French fry day, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was looking on this website. It was really good. It has like a list of like all the holidays per day. I mean, there's just so many, and every day has like 20 plus holiday like things that they celebrate. I wrote down some of the ones that I thought were just really fucking weird. Like, why is there a holiday for this?
Yeah.
And I want to go
Let's
through
hear it.
them. Okay, so on February 18th, it's cow milked while flying in an airplane day.
No,
Yes,
that's not a thing.
it's a thing.
Where'd you get this list?
This is a list from like it's like a nationalholiday.com or whatever. It's like this one of those websites that like aggregates all the holidays.
And what is it? Cow milked from
Cow
an
milked
airplane?
from a flying airplane day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess some guy, or maybe this is a thing that somewhere like it's a festival where they like fly
Wisconsin,
a
right?
cow. It's got to be Wisconsin,
Yeah.
right? They fly a cow up in the air and they milk it. Imagine the cow though. He's
But
like up there
What do you think the point of this
getting
is? though?
molested in the airplane, just completely freaked out.
Do you think that cows feel like they're getting molested?
Yeah, I wonder if it feels good.
Yeah. It's kind of like, excuse me, how sometimes women when they're breastfeeding, they complain about like breast pain or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same for the cow. So then getting the milk out relieves some pain.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they've done tests on this where they can like measure the brain of the cow during
Yeah.
the That's what it sounds like.
I
right?
think no one's done that. Probably.
Come on. Well, somebody should. Come on, doctors and scientists out there.
What's the next one?
The next one is March 3rd is What If Cats and Dogs Had Opposable Thumbs Day?
Yeah. Okay. Again,
Like, what?
we're gonna just say that these aren't real. Somebody made these up.
These are real. They're on the website. Okay? Next to real holidays like July 4th.
The National Enquirer, is that what you called it?
No, I think it's it's probably like National Holiday Calendar.com or something like that.
Well, what is it? Cats and dogs can fly.
What if cats and dogs had opposable thumbs day?
All right.
Yeah.
So
What would that be
okay.
like?
I feel like in the first one, the milk a cow while it's in a flying plane, that one you can do. But what is this holiday
Yeah.
What happens on the holiday? What are you celebrating?
You're just celebrating, like thinking about things that they
Thinking
could do
about
if they
it.
had opposable thumbs.
So you take the day off work and
Yeah.
you don't do anything besides think about it. You
Think
like
about it. Yeah.
you do stuff where you're like, if they did, I could be doing this with my cat.
Yeah. Or maybe you could take it a little step further and just like not use your thumbs the entire day, and kind of like, I don't know, in solidarity with the cats and the dogs that don't have opposable thumbs. You know.
So let's try it.
Try to drink this drink. This is pretty hard, dude. I'm not gonna lie. First off, you got to use both hands because you can. It's now you're like doing like those.
Unless you have like killer finger strength,
Yeah,
you could do a double finger like this.
dude. If you were a rock climber, you could probably lift this drink up with your pinky only.
Yeah, with
And-
one finger.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe you could.
Yeah.
At least one of your, like maybe your middle finger, like this. You could do this.
Oh yeah, you could do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to try right now because I don't want to spill
Yeah, same.
the spicy drink.
Also, Bud Light.
But you could totally do because
Did we talk about Bud Light yet?
Yeah. Can we talk about how easy it is to grab these things without your thumbs? Look at this.
And you could just peel it right off.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what's so great about it is it's not a pop top, it's a twist off.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you probably need to like maneuver the bottle.
You
opener.
probably use your teeth or something.
Yeah. So the point of all this is that cats and dogs they can't drink spicy margaritas.
Right.
They have
Especially
to-
because their fingers are really short.
they're really
Like
small.
imagine just having nubs. Like this is what you have right here. There's no way.
I don't think you can. I think you can nub it with two paws coming on each side, but I
Right.
just don't think they have the strength to lift up. This is probably like what 2 pounds maybe. The
Yeah.
glass. It's a pretty like stout glass, so it's got weight to it.
Should we try it? I mean, your cat's down here.
Hey, get over here. All right, moving on. All right, March 3rd is National Frozen Food Day. National Frozen Food Day. This one seems a little more
It's a
like
little more.
reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, a little less obscure. It's the day of the year where we all celebrate how great it is that we have frozen food.
Yeah. This one's legit because I can think, you know, you probably have like National Wine Day, National Artisanal Food. I mean, you have like Food Week, whatever, all, like in every city they pretty much have that.
Restaurant week,
Yeah,
or
restaurant
whatever it is. Yeah.
And so this one I can see we're definitely celebrating. Like everyone likes a good frozen pizza every once in a while, or
Trader Joe's, I'm looking at you. Half your shit is frozen
Oh.
food, right?
true that.
Yeah.
People like to think that you go to Trader Joe's and you get decent food. Well, it's all fucking processed and
Yep.
and
Flash
frozen.
frozen, yeah. I got like most of my stuff is frozen. You know, you get that frozen pasta.
Yeah.
You get that frozen, you know, quinoa bowl, whatever the fuck, you know, the butternut squash, macaroni, you know, like that's all frozen, bro.
I used to buy their turkey burgers all the time
Frozen?
in college. No, not in college. Right after college. Yeah, frozen.
Well, I get to tell you that on March 6th, you get to celebrate that turkey burger a little bit better, you know.
Because
So-
of frozen.
Because National
turkey
Frozen
burger?
Food Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So on March 3rd, we all need to be indulging in frozen food. But on March 8th, we're going to take a little bit of a pivot. It is March 8th is Be Nasty Day.
No.
Yeah.
Like what kind of nasty?
I
Like
mean,
like get in the dumpster and eat the leftover like can of beans that are in there?
we're getting nasty.
Like that kind of nasty?
I think it's whatever you want to make nasty. To
Yeah,
be.
but what is I mean, there's a description for the holiday.
It's Be Nasty. It's literally a call to action. What more do you need? I'm talking like you know, you could be Hillary Clinton, you know, because wasn't she called a nasty lady or something like that by Donald Trump?
Probably.
So you could interpret it like it's National Hillary Clinton Day. You could be like you know, like you originally said, going in through a dumpster, or you could be like, you know, just poop your pants, be like really nasty that way, you know.
It's not like any of the things we're probably thinking. It's about being less polite.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it says sometimes society takes the idea of politeness too far. Terrible people like to take advantage of the social expectation for politeness and use it to their own means. So if you're the kind of person who is too polite, use this day as an excuse to break away and say no when you want to.
Yeah, no, I will not do that.
Yeah, I will not. Nope.
Be nasty, folks.
Yeah.
But you can only do it for one day. It's March 8th. Mark that on your calendars. It's already passed. Sorry, you got to wait another 6 months to be nasty again.
Yeah. I just want to point out real quick that in this photo from nationaltoday.com, which is probably where you got these from, this lady is holding up an L sign, and I just want to point out that cats and dogs wouldn't be able to do that. So I don't really follow. I don't like this website anymore.
It's March. The March is the one. Wait. Which is? Give another shout out to this website.
Yeah, it's nationaltoday.com.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's the website.
You could search nationaltoday.com/b-nasty-day.
There you go.
And you'll come to this, and
It'll
it's
give
a
you
really
the rules.
offensive photo.
It'll give you the rules of how to participate.
Right.
Okay, so next one is March 15th. Everything you know is wrong day. Everything you know is wrong day.
It's like when you're in the shower and you start thinking about things,
Yep.
and you realize, oh shit,
Yep.
my penis is a lot smaller than I thought it was.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that I had that mole there. And then you're like,
Maybe
I don't
it's
know
cancer.
anything.
Maybe it's cancer.
Yeah, maybe it's cancer. I'm gonna die.
Let those intrusive thoughts fly day. It's another. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you ever get that anxiety at midnight? Maybe you're crawling into bed, and then you just think about how everything is wrong in the world, and that's that for this day, March 15th. Everything is wrong day. Get after it.
I like it. It's pretty much my day. I mean, it's like every day.
But here's the kicker. This day has also got a coinciding holiday.
Everything
Also
is
on
right.
March 15th, it is International Eat an Animal for PETA Day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get to choose which one you want, or you can just do both.
I would do a cat. I would do a cat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just eat the cat?
Yeah.
That may raise a couple questions
Why?
from your neighbors.
Why?
Is that necessarily legal in the United States?
What do you mean is illegal?
On this day, guess what it is?
I guess what
I think
we're
when
Googling.
people established this holiday, it wasn't to eat cats, Miles. I think it was to eat normal, cows, chickens, things like that. You took this a little too far.
According to the HuffPost.com, they literally have a page on is it okay to eat a cat? And they actually talked to a psychologist about it, and they said that basically
Psychopaths do.
yeah. No, I think that it's probably legal to eat your cat. Oh, right here. Slate.com has a thing. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Is it legal to eat your cat?
I love it. My cat just got real worried. I think he ran away. He was around here somewhere.
It says, when police in Western New York pulled over Gary something for blowing a stop sign, they found a live cat in his trunk covered in cooking oil, peppers, and salt.
Dude, he was marinating it, dude.
He was.
He
And it was still
marinating it.
alive.
That's so weird. Why would you do that? Because you just got to skin it,
True that.
You're just wasting a bunch of marinade. That guy needs to take a master class on cooking cats.
Apparently, California has an anti-pet eating law. I don't know what it is, though. That's kind of weird, right?
That is. Why did they need that? Too many people.
Is that in most of the country, the legality of pet eating
Oh, my God.
would come down to, what if it's nobody's pet?
Stray. It's been running amok in your neighborhood.
Or just a wild cat. There's wild cats.
Hmm.
Same thing as a stray.
You know what? Something I've never thought is when I'm walking down the street, I see a cat. One thing I've never thought is, man, that cat looks tasty. Never thought that. Never been damn, that would be, slap some barbecue sauce, maybe some Japanese beef cooking sauce,
Have you ever seen a cow and thought that?
Yeah.
No.
I've looked at him and been like, man,
No.
I bet he's going to be,
You haven't. You looked at them and you thought, oh, he's so cute. And then later on went to a steakhouse and you were
Yeah,
like,
you're
damn,
true.
this is good. But you never looked at a cow and was like, oh, he looks
you're right.
good.
You're right. But maybe if I was a butcher, I would, and where I was more
Sure.
intimate with that, where I get my food.
So this is where the law, I think, comes into place. It says some states, such as Virginia, bar the unnecessary killing of an animal, except for farming activities. So then it would make sense. You can't have your cat in your house and then suddenly you're like, I'm going to eat my cat. But if you were farming like if you were breeding cats to eat
Mm-hmm.
for you and your neighbors or your community,
Yeah.
then you could do it.
Okay. Well, there it is.
That's like a lot of countries in South America, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have like a big one in Peru is guinea pigs. People will have like 100 pet guinea pigs, and then they'll eat them on special occasions. So it'll be like Christmas or something. I
So
don't know
weird.
if they celebrate Christmas, but yeah, then
They'll
they'll
just
they'll just cook a bunch of
but
them.
they're not like pets in the traditional sense where, you're like, here, come here.
I don't know.
Little snuggler.
I knew a guy I worked with once. He's from Puerto Rico, and he said that when he was younger, he had a chicken that he was like, it was his pet chicken, basically.
Frank or
Yeah.
whatever.
And then one day, his parents cooked the chicken.
Oh man,
Yeah.
brutal.
Right.
How old was he? He was like
I don't
younger.
know. Yeah, younger.
Yeah, that'll ruin some
Right.
childhood.
Yeah,
in a
you're like,
sense. Yeah.
I mean, he likes chicken, so I guess it didn't scar him too much. Because
Yeah.
I would have been like, fuck, I'm never eating a chicken again.
Yeah, like what the hell? Thanks, mom.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at a pig and thought that a pig would be appetizing? I don't think so. Pigs are pretty nasty.
No,
right?
pigs look pretty gross,
Yeah.
especially in their element. You know.
Even when you ever see the pig where it's like on the stakes and they're gonna cook it,
Mhm.
it looks even worse. Then I feel like
That's when
It's kinda gross.
That's when I start to turn the corner of okay from like gross to like okay, you
It's-
look kind
it's
of
looking
tasty.
okay. What about? Do you remember when we were younger? We used to go to that church in Golden Gate,
Uh-huh.
and they had the pig pit, Where they would roast the
Yes,
pigs?
I think I remember
and
that.
it would
yeah.
smell so bad.
Yeah, it
when
smelled-
you walk by it,
It smelled like grease and
like rotten
fat,
pig and
rotten
shit.
nasty.
Yeah. When you go by that, would you like?
I'm pretty sure they probably threw a couple bodies in there too.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Some kids that had been molested.
Yeah, probably some baddies. It's just some people who like to run their mouth, you know. Anyway, moving on to April. In April 1st is known by all of us and by many as April Fool's Day.
It's 20 days before my birthday.
Yeah, that's also what people know. That day of everybody
So
knows that.
spicy.
Yeah, that drink.
My
It's
stomach
kicking me in
hurts.
the butt. It could be worse. It could that
It
drink
could be worse, but with the tahini
yeah,
and the lime,
yeah,
it's like sour here,
uh-huh.
and then you get that in your mouth. It's
Yeah.
like a big spicy sour,
Yeah, it took a two-pronged approach
and
here.
then your stomach hurts.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely
So-
hurts.
What is April 1st besides April Fool's Day?
April 1st is Edible Book Day.
I've never heard of that.
Edible Book Day.
It's not a thing.
Well, I mean, let's just like take a step back. What is the definition of a book? And can you make it out of edible ingredients? And if so, to that day, April 1st is the day to do it.
So I think that you could make the pages of a book using rice paper
Yeah.
or rice.
Mhm.
Whatever, yeah.
Seaweed, maybe some pressed
I think seaweed would be too dark.
brittle, too.
I guess you could write on it with a light color like white or something.
Or
So
you
do
could,
like a
or you could
Yankee
make
book.
really thin like pizza dough.
No, it could be too sticky. It would be too.
No, or like naan, and you can like use naan
I
as
think
like
it's
the
too
page.
thin
No, you could.
because rice paper it can be like it can be long. You
Mm.
know, like you can have a long piece of it. It's not,
Mhm.
and like you can flip it.
That's true.
I feel like with naan, it's just like it's heavy and it's gonna fall apart when you
Yeah.
are flipping pages.
Could be, yeah. What would you use as like the ink?
The ink it had to be something non-toxic, so I guess you could use like
You could do like
tattoo ink.
I could do like do a bunch of like food dye. You know, enough colors will make it like dark. You
Yeah.
can write on that way.
Yeah, you could write that on and then it'll dry.
Yeah.
Right.
Dip
And
it in
then but what
ranch.
about the binding of the book?
Binding could be like sausage, and you can cut some like slits in the sausage and then stick your rice paper into the sausage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're going something
Getting
for
hungry
like
now.
being able to read
I'm gonna
the
eat that
book and not get your hands all fucking
It's-
greasy.
There's a balance. This day is about duality of
So this is like a children's
edibleness
book.
and in literature.
So this isn't the kind of book where you're reading it over multiple days.
No.
It's like a 10-page book. You just you go in for you read 10 pages and then you're like, oh, I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
And you eat it.
It's like if you went to a restaurant and they served this type of thing, I imagine it would be like a couple minutes of like being, oh, cool, it's a little book, and you can like read their like do little cute messages on each page.
This sounds like a great idea. Library bar serves edible books.
Edible books
with
you can
cocktails.
Cut them to them. It's like that show. Was it like Cake or Not Cake or something like that? Is it Cake? Yeah, I think it's called Is It Cake? And it's just a show about people making hyper realistic cakes, and
Sometimes
people
not.
have to like vote on whether it's cake or if it's not.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. And so you could do this is right up that alley. Like this is like this holiday fits right into their agenda, you know? Cuz they could make something like you can make a cake technically that looks like a book. Like what does it have to be like a functional book where you can like open up the pages and like flip through it,
Yeah,
or can it just like look like a book on a plate?
No, that's not as cool. I feel like anyone can do that.
That's not everybody.
Yeah.
I could try to make a cake look like a book and it would still look like a cake.
Look, there's a lot of artists out there. It would be pretty easy to find someone who could make just somewhat realistic looking cakes, but you want something where you can actually sit there and read the couple pages of it. It's going to be unique, right? The writing's going to be unique. It's going to be different every time.
Yeah.
They read it and then they eat it.
Yeah. I think we could maybe participate next time. All right. So he heard me. So my cat just jumped on me, and he heard me talking about cake. But before he heard me talking about like, hey, eating cats, and so now he's like trying to like suck up to me. He's like, listen, don't eat me. I'm kind of cute. I don't deserve to be eaten. Actually, he's been pretty cuddly all day. This little cuddle monster. Okay, time to go. All right, bye-bye. On to the next one. April 3rd is Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day. So if you work somewhere where it's not fun, then you get the day off essentially.
Oh, it's a thing. Like you're allowed to.
Yeah, it's on the ballot to be recognized as a federal holiday, and we all need to just join in solidarity and vote yes on proposition.
Yeah.
And make it happen. On April 15th, it's That Sucks Day. You know, that sucks.
So it's
day.
like you skipped work because you thought that your company recognized the holiday. You found out that they didn't. You got fired, and then you're like, that sucks.
Yeah. Then there's a day shortly after where you can just be like, well, that sucks.
Okay. Is the next one get a new job day?
6/1 is the next. So May does not have any weird holidays. But
I mean, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, I also wanted to point out on Edible Book Day, it was also Miles Day. Like for people named Miles. M-Y. Specifically put that in there because it was M-Y-L-E-S.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
All right.
That would be April 1st.
First?
Yeah.
Or 15th?
First. Yeah. Yep.
You're right.
I am right. I am right.
Fans of Irish literature decided that Brian O'Nolan, that's a weird word. It's a weird name. A great Irish writer should have a day of his own, and Miles Day celebrate. That's weird. I thought his name was Brian.
In English, it's...
Oh, yeah, in English. Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's one of his characters. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I that's pretty cool that I was somebody wrote a book like after me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't have books written after them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
I'm pretty cool.
Yeah. So on 6/1, June 1st, it's Fight the Filthy Fly Month. So I guess it's not necessarily a day, but the entire month of June is Fight the Filthy Fly Month.
All right. So I think up until now, I've understood most of these, like Miles Day, obviously, it's celebrating me. Makes sense. The milking the cow thing. I don't understand the origin story, but I understand what it is.
Yep.
I don't know what a filthy fly is. Can you explain?
Yeah, like the fly that comes in and he just like won't go away, and he's getting on up all in your stuff. He goes in your bathroom, checks out your toilet, and he flies back to your living room, and he's like,
You go on
"I'm a
and you get
filthy
your
fly."
firearm. You start shooting at him.
He starts.
Accidentally hit your neighbor.
He flies into
get a
your
manslaughter charge.
house and starts doing all kinds of racial slurs, just throwing them out.
Wow.
Yeah, he's filthy. He's a filthy fly.
So he's racist.
So you got to kill him.
Okay.
You just got to get your fly swatter out, swat him.
I feel like that's an easy one.
7-7. Be nice to Jersey week. And by Jersey, we mean New Jersey. It's be nice to New Jersey because the rest of the year, fuck them.
Yeah.
But this day, July 7th, you got to be nice.
I feel like
be nice.
This is a Northeast thing because like if you're not from the Northeast, you probably don't know the riff, or unless you might have heard of it on TV or something between like New York and New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. But none of the rest of us really give a crap, and they somehow have this thing where it's like it's better to live in one place than the other, and it's really not. Everyone's like, "Oh, our bagels are better," and then they like end up moving to New Jersey, and they're like, it's just pretty much the same."
So, are you taking the side of New York on this?
No, I think. Well, I don't know. I am taking the side of it's the same place. Yeah, controversial right there. We might get canceled.
Miles is trying to bring unity to the Northeast.
Unity.
Y'all are one people.
Yeah. Oh, unity. Yeah. Or I just
unity.
made the problem worse.
Like it's not the same. On 8/15, August 15th, it's No SpongeBob Day. So take down your posters in your bathroom. Turn off Nickelodeon. You're not allowed to watch SpongeBob or associate yourself with any SpongeBob activities, propaganda, marketing, signage, branding.
All right, what if you only have SpongeBob themed sponges in your cabinet and you have a lot of dishes to do? You just can't do them?
Just wait till tomorrow.
Okay.
On 12/10, December 10th, we have Festival for Souls of Dead Whales Day.
Oh, this is like a whaling thing. This is like a PETA.
Yeah.
Like anti-whale.
Yeah. Like
anti-whaling.
The Japanese are really, really famous for hunting down dolphin and whales.
Right.
And so I guess this is a day to celebrate all of the lost brethren whales that have been fallen, to our ally, but also under scrutiny. Like, what are you guys doing?
I feel like they should have named it, "Hey, leave that whale alone."
Yeah. Hey, you don't do that. Don't do that to those whales.
Yeah, that's a good one. Don't do this to the whales.
Yeah. It's a little more direct, I think, right?
Yeah, because we can remember the old whales, but we need to protect the new whales or the living whales. And so this one is like very clear. It's just like we're not passively saying stop doing it. We're literally saying, hey, leave them alone.
Yeah, leave them alone in an aggressive note. It should be on all caps when it's written on the calendar. On December 18th, this is my last one. Okay. On December 18th, it's Wear a Plunger on Your Head Day.
Okay, I got this one. So a used plunger, are you allowed? It has to be used, right?
It has to be used.
Right.
It has to be used.
So I think you can get hepatitis from
Not
that.
if you boil it. You gotta take the blue rubber piece off the handle.
Right.
Stick it in a pot of boiling water. It has to be boiling because it has to be brought up to a temperature to which it can kill all the bacteria, or at least most of the bacteria. And then rip that thing out, let it kind of shake it, give it a couple air dry shakes, and then poop back on the handle, right on the head. Now, it may be easier for those of you who are bald or balding because it can grab more skin surface area.
Yeah. So I feel like if you aren't balding, you have to wear it kind of like a yarmulke, right? You need like a clip or something.
You need a plunger clip, and they sell them on Amazon. Plunger clips just for the wear a plunger on your head day.
Yeah, and also the new website plungerclips.com. You can get one there.
Yeah.
$9.99.
Pretty convenient. Yeah, boil them right on the head. You can wait or you cannot. You can just go right up from the stove to your head. It may scald yourself, but I'm thinking it's a good day for all of us baldies to come out and just kind of like have fun with it because, I think we could probably say that there's a point in the day where people are wearing them and then charging at each other like back and forth, like medieval times style jousting, where you just one end of the yard is the guy and then the other end, and they just kind of like runs full blast at each other with their head down, and whoever like falls first ends up losing.
That seems really dangerous, but I think it's more likely that you are boiling some lobsters that day, and then you're like, oh, I'll clean the plunger at the same time. So you put the plunger in, throw the lobsters in, 2-for-1 deal.
Kills everything all at once.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you take it out, you put it on your head, put the clip on if you're not bald, and yeah, it's a unifying day. I feel like we shouldn't say it's for the bald people to come together, because I feel like we shouldn't segregate people. You know what I mean?
That's true. You have a good point, and I apologize if I felt I made anybody feel like,
yeah, it's fine.
Disincluded.
Yeah, it's fine.
But those are the holidays. Those are the things that I found that I thought, hey, super interesting. I don't know why we have holidays for these things, but we do. And, I spent way too much time looking. I went through every single day of the year. It's a good amount of time.
You or your assistant?
Well, it was me. I had to approve some of the holidays, because like some of them are, you don't want to like celebrate.
Like in today's climate,
you don't want to celebrate Spicy Oyster Day. It's just like a little too much heat on that topic right now. Spicy oysters.
Is it? Because it sounds good.
It's
It's like not the big oysters, but
the small ones. A
regular
little
one.
bit of Tabasco sauce, and lemon juice, maybe some habanero pepper,
sriracha.
Sriracha. Hey, sriracha's back in stock, baby.
All right, so you say that, but I go to Target. I
No,
literally,
no.
you text me, you say sriracha's back. I'm on my bike. I literally turn around, ride to Target, and guess what? Guess who doesn't have sriracha?
Listen, I was trying to say Shakira's back, but it auto-corrected the sriracha. She's coming back doing another world tour. No, actually, I did text you. It's sriracha. Sriracha's back, but it's at H Mart. You ever been to H Mart, the Korean Asian market?
Yeah, but is it the bird?
The bird kind, the like actual sriracha brand.
Yeah.
Boom.
Because I've had so many srirachas. I had Trader Joe's. I think I had another Trader Joe's. I think I had one from like Sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
I think I tried one more, and they're all just garbage.
Yeah.
Just absolute garbage.
It's not good.
Nothing compares to the bird sriracha.
No.
It's like, it's so weird because remember there was the bird flu and chicken. No, it was eggs. Yeah. Eggs got really expensive because of the supply. And at the same time, the bird sriracha like went off the shelves, and I think it might be because they use birds in their ingredients, because I saw other srirachas.
Yeah.
They were there. And I went to the sushi or the Vietnamese place, and they had the bird sriracha. So I'm like,
where does it come from? Is it China? Is that the origin of the sriracha?
What's it called?
I don't know. I don't know the name, the brand name. I think it's just called sriracha.
Yeah. So it's called Hui Fong.
Oh yeah, right.
And
it's definitely from China then, right? Or am I just being insensitive? And
I just don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I typed in origin of Hui Fong's sriracha.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Boom. He's got it.
It is Vietnamese.
Ooh, Vietnamese. Okay. I was totally wrong. Totally different country.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Okay, so there's this crazy story behind this sriracha. Okay, do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's insane. So, it's also referred to as sriracha, cock sauce, or rooster sauce.
Ooh, rooster sauce.
For the rooster on its label. It's a brand of sriracha, a chili sauce that originated in Thailand. Okay?
Oh.
Originated in Thailand. However, the sauce is produced by Hoi Fung Foods, which is a California manufacturer.
Whoa.
And it was created in 1980 by this guy, David Tran, who is a Chinese immigrant from Vietnam.
Whoa. This got really complicated.
This is 4 countries that have interest in this sriracha sauce.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
That guy, I wonder, he's probably still alive, right? Super rich
I would
guy.
imagine if it was only 1980 that he figured that out. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, Trader Joe's, some of their stuff is good, some of their stuff is not. Obviously, the sriracha stuff, not so good. They did ask me to do a survey. Check out, and they're like, here, dude, make sure you do the survey.
I feel like they ask most people that.
They just asked me.
I can name off top 2 things from Trader Joe's that are consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
The truffles, the truffle, you know what I'm talking about? The dark truffles, they have the powder on them. They come in a red box.
Yeah.
It's like red box, like this big.
It's a fave.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh, they're so good. I can't help myself. If they're in the house, I have to have at least one a day.
Yeah, one a day.
It's like nothing else gets me like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you could be in my house waving anything in front of my face, and I'll be like, maybe. Those things, I have to have them. Number 2, those little mini ice cream cones. You know what I'm talking about? Little mini ice. It's basically like a cone's like this big, has a little bit of ice cream on the top, and then it's full of ice cream, and then at the very bottom in the cone it has a little piece of chocolate.
That's the best part. You get to the bottom of the cone, you're like, oh, this is like
the ice cream. The ice cream, you're like, oh, this is like pretty decent, but then you're going for that. You're going for the chocolate.
Yeah. It's a treat for finishing your treat.
Right.
It's like a little built-in reward system. But yeah, I went the other day. I got asked for a survey. I was doing the survey, and you know what pisses me off?
When they don't give you anything for doing it?
No, I don't mind that because, if you want my opinion about it, I'll give you my opinion about it. But if I'm spending time to go sit down, pull it up on my phone, and go through your 10, 15 question survey, if I miss a question because either I accidentally skipped it or didn't want to answer, and I get to the bottom to hit submit, and you make me go back up to answer it as a required field, fuck you,
my gosh,
dude.
really?
Just take what I gave you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't ask me, hey, no.
Was the question, how big is it?
It's probably something like, oh, how did you like our frozen food section? And I was like,
because it's frozen food day.
I either neglected to answer it or I just didn't see it, and they made me scroll all the way back up after the page reloaded, and it was like, no, you must answer. I must answer this? I don't have to answer any of this.
Why did you do the survey?
I don't know. I think maybe they were like, I can't remember why.
It's like Subway, free cookie.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Free
I think if you,
ice,
what is it, Dunkin'?
cones.
You get like a free donut or something?
Yeah.
I think it's Subway's, you get a free cookie.
I'd be doing those Raising Cane's surveys, hoping that I
They
get
give
the
you
canes
one
for a
chicken?
year. No, they give you canes
Oh,
for a
really?
year, dude.
Really?
Oh,
How often do they pick what, is it like
I don't
once
know.
a year everyone gets
maybe
that?
it's like quarterly or something. But yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want.
Do you have to go and buy something to fill out the survey?
Yeah, because you got to get it on. You have a receipt, and they track the code on your receipt.
What if you don't like chicken?
I wonder if you buy, if your order's for 10 people, you get more
Oh,
you
so
get a couple of votes.
yeah, you split it up each item.
Yeah.
Say you're getting 10 different things.
Mhm,
You do
mhm.
one. You're like, I'll get the McChicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
the raisin chicken.
Hold on, stop. Don't confuse McDonald's menu with. It's not the same.
I'll get the raisin
How
chicken.
dare you? The raisin chicken.
Raisin chicken strip, and then
the McRaisin.
And then they're like, okay, your order is number 224, and then
Yeah.
you're like, they're like, okay, next, and you're like, no, wait,
Yeah,
I'll take another raisin chicken.
Yeah.
And you do that 10 times.
Yeah, just to get 10. Yeah.
Right.
And
or you can tell the guy up front, you're like, hey, listen, I'm gonna order 10 things. You're gonna need to give me 10 survey things, or I'm gonna sit here and order 10 of them, and then he's gonna do it for you.
Yeah, give me the. I want. I probably. If I really wanted to win this, what I would do is I'd go and I'd sit in a Raising Cane's and just collect all the receipts as people throw them away in the trash, or get a job as a cashier for like a month, and then all the people who don't want their receipts, a lot of people they don't grab their receipts. They're like, oh, you want a receipt? No, I'm good. They pocket the receipts, and now they're shooting off surveys with the little receipt codes.
Yeah.
You could go through like 50 to 100 surveys a day. Suddenly, you're there for a month, and you got over 300, 500, even maybe 1,000 if you're really into it, of entries just into. So you've automatically now just.
So, hold on. Let's step back real quick. So I think there's two problems with your thing that you're trying to do. Number one, probably if you work for Raising Cane's, you can't win the thing, right? You can't win the contest.
Well, that's why when you get to like you say it's only going to be for 1 month and you quit.
Yeah, but I think that it's more likely that it would just because you're probably not going to win, honestly.
Yeah.
Still, you might as well take the month and just steal like years worth of Raising Cane's and then throw it in your freezer and then heat it up. You know what I mean?
I already do that, Miles. No. Yeah, I think. I don't know. There's a couple of different ways. You could probably also, start a pool on Reddit. You'd be like all the cashiers around the nation, and just we all agree.
Like pool day, everyone brings their floaties.
No. No. Everybody agrees that if we all participate and do this and actively take the receipts, we all split it. That way,
what is it? Is it just a card you show it, and then you can print off a bunch of them?
Yeah, it's got to be some promo code or special card.
That's crazy. I just thought of that because what about if you knew who won and you contacted them and you're just like, hey, I'll give you like $200.
Yeah.
If you just give me the code or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I bet you could do that. Imagine if you won and then you start selling it to people, right? You start scamming them, tell them you're going to give it to them. You don't actually.
Yeah, I'm like, here, Venmo me $1,000.
Yeah. Do the classic scam. You don't do it as a purchase, send it to me as a friend.
Yeah.
So I don't get taxed, and also because then you can't get a refund. Right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think we're on to something. I need to change my approach now. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so the other day I was driving. I went to this town in Colorado. It's called Silverton.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of this.
Okay, so this is crazy. Have you ever heard of the history of it?
No.
Okay, so a lot of people know this, but a lot of the towns in Colorado are a lot of the small towns in the mountains. You'll go in the mountains, and you're like, why is there a town here? Yeah. Right? It's been there a long time. There's a lot of old houses and stuff. You're like, why is it here? Why did someone just come out here? How did they do that? What's their job? Whatever. Nowadays, it's because tourism. It's people who are retired, whatever. But back in the day when those towns started, it was because of mining. It's a pretty classic thing in the West, California, whatever. The gold rush,
all those
silver
ghost towns now that are no longer. It's because the mining industry dried up.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you go to so we went to Crested Butte, and if you go from there, there's a ghost town. I forget what it's called. That's north of there, and it's pretty cool because they made it into this laboratory where they study marmots and the marmot population. It's really weird. They found that marmots are actually getting fatter. They don't really know why. But anyway, so lots of ghost towns like that. You can take off-road trails and go find trails that don't have roads to them. They have off-road trails, but not actual legit roads. They don't have trains, anything like that. So there's a couple houses, whatever. But Silverton is interesting because it's really like in the middle of nowhere. It's really not close to anything.
What's the nearest big
Durango.
town? Okay, so people,
which is still a pretty small place,
Yeah.
but yeah, like if you in Silverton is like one grocery store. It's expensive. It's kind of like a convenience store. It's not a real grocery store. I think a lot of people, they'll drive if they need to get groceries to Durango and then get a bunch of stuff, come back.
Yeah.
It's got like a Costco trip, But I found it. I was staying there at this boutique hotel because the buildings there, they don't have like most of the towns here don't have like a Hilton or something like that or a Marriott. It's just like
Best
an
Western.
old building. It's like 100 years old. Someone bought it, and then there's like 12 rooms, someone bought a building and turned it into one of the smaller motel chains or something.
Yeah.
And so I'm staying in this place. It's a tiny place, and I start thinking, what's the history of this? And I went to this brewery there, and I thought, what's the history of the brewery? And it's like most of those buildings there, they were probably more at one point in time, because in Silverton, there's only like 600 people who live there. But what I learned is that the boom, when the most amount of people lived there were like 2,000 people living out there.
Everybody trying to find their fortune.
Yeah. And this is crazy because you're thinking like there's not really roads out there, right? This is like in the 1880s, early 1900s. People don't have cars like we do today.
Oh man.
They're taking trains to like the nearest place, which probably would have been Durango.
Yeah.
And then like horses or whatever to get there. And they're living there. And then what would happen is they use Silverton kind of as a central area, and they'd move out to these different towns or these different sites basically where they'd have like a couple houses and a bunch of equipment, and they'd mine things. And then they eventually built the Durango to Silverton train. And that's what kind of like built its population up to 2,000. I think it was the max around 2,000 at some point. But I thought it was really cool because as I was sitting out there, I was kind of just imagining back in the early 1900s what it would have been like, not having certain amenities that you have now and living out there. It was really like the old Wild West kind of feeling.
Even before the train was there, I'm sure you needed a guide.
Right.
To figure out where the hell this place is.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where the real money was at.
Yeah.
And all of this
People
wasn't actually
were.
going and mining. It was the guys being like, hey, I know a place where you can find gold. In fact, my buddy, who's now back in New York in his little penthouse in one of those new skyscrapers they're making out there, and he hit gold. Now he's got all kinds of land and fancy jewelry. Yeah. No, those are the guys that made the money.
Yeah, probably.
And they were all mostly grifters because they were just like, yeah, I'll take you to some place.
They just bring them anywhere, just to like a random town.
Yeah, and they get like a finder's fee or.
Well, I think that was the thing is like they actually a lot of those mines didn't last very long because they didn't actually have that much minerals and stuff to actually mine, and like the last mine closed. Like there's actually no more mining out there. Yeah. And the last one closed, I don't know, in the late 1900s or something.
Really? Like the 80s or something? Like
yeah,
there's still people out there being like, this will be my
There was still a mine.
No,
I think it was like, larger company or something.
Yeah, like actual industrial type minerals instead of your like
I can imagine
silver.
there are probably people out in the mountains who still do some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like
there's like the hobbyists and stuff like that probably. Like I think one of our friends, Joe, his dad, I think, or his uncle or somebody, they like for fun they just go out into the river and pan for gold.
Yeah.
And you get these little like specks of, whatever.
I saw someone doing that actually on a trail. It was in Wyoming. I went up there to Snowy Range where they have some mountains, and there was literally a guy and his kid sitting there panning there was a stream coming by. I was like, this is really
some
weird.
people actually can make a decent amount of money doing that. Like it's probably not worth your time. Like you could probably be doing some other things that yield higher profits, but If you generally enjoy wading in water and doing that kind of thing, it's kind of cathartic too, right? I'm sure there's like an oddly satisfying aspect to it.
For sure.
And then when you get something, it's like you're super stoked about it.
Yeah. When I was in Alaska, one of the things we were staying at this lodge there, one of the things we could do was gold panning. And I was like,
yeah.
Why would I waste my time?
What kind of sucker do you think I am? Imagine if they're like, yeah, we keep 10% of everything you find. Like, I just feel like you guys are fucking. You're what do they call it? It was like in Tom Sawyer when he like convinces the buddies to whitewash the fence for him. He's like saying how cool and fun it is to like paint fences. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great too.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
I saw that NASA is sending something to an asteroid that supposedly is worth like over whatever the next number is after a trillion.
Whoa.
It's like that number or maybe one more after that. I don't know what it is. But I wonder if they were actually able to harvest all that, what the real value of those things would be. Like if it's all gold, for instance, whatever, or titanium or whatever. It's like if they find $100 trillion worth of gold, is gold now worthless?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's it just seems so difficult. This sounds like the beginning of like Avatar. You know how they go to the planet, just harvest.
They found out there's minerals. A bunch of like aliens that live there,
and then now, and
they just blow it up. Like what aliens?
Yeah, they accidentally like try to like maneuver it closer to Earth, and then just to have easier access to it, and it ends up hitting us.
Kills us all.
All greedy motherfuckers. It's interesting though. One thing that you brought to my attention a couple weeks ago is how much titanium is actually in the new iPhone 15.
Yeah.
Because they keep advertising. They have the cool little like reel of like the asteroid. It's like heading.
It kills me every time I see it
through space.
The weird music.
Yeah.
It's like
they're like these sparks are flying. They're like titanium in the new iPhone.
Yeah.
So what was the statistic that you threw out there? It was like how much titanium is actually in the iPhone.
Yeah, I think it was something like it was either like 10 grams or less of titanium, which it depends how they buy the titanium. So like so it's a certain grade of titanium. I think it's grade 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty decent one, but it depends. They may have a deal where they can buy it in such large bulk that it's cheaper for them. Mm-hmm. But it was like between $9 and $40 worth of titanium, or was it $20?
And I don't necessarily have a frame of reference of how much titanium actually costs. But after you said that, I was like, wow, if it is on the low end of like $9, that is kind of like,
which it probably is. The person who, so it was Jerry Rig Everything, the YouTuber.
Yeah, right.
He said that because of Apple's connections and stuff, they probably get it on the cheaper end.
Well, I was going to say, if it's on the higher end, you said 40. If it actually does cost them $40 worth of titanium per iPhone, and you anticipate them having such great trade deals, so they're getting it at a massive discount, I imagine. $40 worth of titanium probably isn't like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of what I would anticipate as the shell of the iPhone to cost in titanium. So I guess if it is on the higher end, I'm less like,
so the higher end was
mad
like
about it.
He had a sheet of it,
and
he was like, this is what it would have cost me.
Oh,
as
really?
Like buying a sheet of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they most likely get it cheaper than that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, who was it that someone disassembled an iPhone. This was like probably the iPhone 5 or something, and found that it cost, I don't remember what it was. It was either like $20 or $200, which I think it's more likely it was probably $200.
Gotta be.
And they sold it for, I don't know what the iPhones at the time were, probably like $600 or $700.
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 times as much.
Yeah.
Than that they actually
Which makes
cost
sense.
to build them.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so much overhead in making those things.
Well, yeah, all the I mean, it's not like PlayStation where I think at the time they probably weren't making as much on the apps and stuff, because now a lot of their money comes from purchases and stuff you make.
Yeah,
they take a cut.
Oh,
hey,
and there's the cat. He just made a quick little entrance. Get down.
He jumped from the couch around the screen.
Dude, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, get down, you stinker. We're trying to do a show. We're trying to be professional. He wants to be a part of it. He's like, here, come let me. My cat's being super cuddly, y'all. All day he just wants to be held. Yeah, he also is getting a little closer to dinner time, so he's like trying to remind us, hey, y'all need to shape up and feed me. But anyway, yeah, for PlayStation, it was like I think they were just trying to break even when they were selling them,
right
at the beginning, and then, of course, then they come out with the slim model. And then they probably can cut costs down the road,
and they become cheaper too. So I think they're always kind of trying to sell them at a price where they're either, because I think it was PlayStation 3, they sold it at a loss.
Yeah.
For what I can't remember what the reason was, and then I think since then they've not really done that, because I think that ended up hurting them. Because whatever their plan was, they were like, we'll make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because people will have it, whatever. Because
Yeah.
that's their whole motto, is like sell it basically at a loss or at no profit, and then we'll make a bunch of profit from people buying games and paying for services
through the machine.
Yeah. Which is like the reason why Apple's worth whatever $2 or $3 trillion now and Sony isn't, is that Apple also makes a bunch of money on the end, but they still sell their products for 2 or 3 times as much as they pay for them.
They're double dipping, basically.
Yeah.
They're double dipping. It's smart.
But you can only do that if you have people who are willing to pay for it, because all it takes is a company to come and make something cheaper, which is what people do with the Android operating systems. And but people like iPhones, people like Apple. They like the integration between all their products and everything.
Yeah, they like the native apps. They like the storage, and some people who are in the music, they do the music thing. I get it.
And their interfaces are generally super simple. So that's what I've always liked about the iPhone, is that they've been incredibly easy to use. Mm-hmm. It's not that difficult to figure out how to do something, and you can't do, at least for a long time, they've made them more customizable now, but for a long time you couldn't really change much. It was like open an app, make a phone call, text someone, whatever. Mm-hmm. With like Samsung's phones, they made them so complicated. It was like figuring out how to get to a certain menu. It just took a long time.
Yeah, and also their app store was pretty rigorous on the can and can't do things in order to be approved to be on the app store.
Right, because with other phones it was like you had multiple it wasn't like there was an app store, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Google came out with one.
Yeah,
Google Play,
Google
I think.
Play, or Google app. Yeah.
But it was like you would download that. It wasn't like your phone just came with it.
Yeah.
I think probably some they do now, but
yeah, there's like the Android app store, I think it was the thing.
Yeah.
Or still is. I don't know.
So you didn't have one central place. It was like kind of just like you do whatever you want with the phone. It was kind of like having a Windows computer or something. It was like you just install things and make it go. Whereas I feel like with Apple, it was like you want something, you press this button, and then you go and you find it in that application, and then you download it and you use it.
Yeah, and I remember when it was the iTunes store, I think is when
it was so
had
annoying
to go to.
They still reference that sometimes in some of their help docs that are kind of older. They're like, make sure you have iTunes installed. And you're like, iTunes isn't even a thing anymore, right?
Why
I think it's just called the Apple.
It's just the App Store.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even on Mac, I think they don't have iTunes.
And then for music,
anymore.
it's just the Apple Music app,
Right.
The music app. But yeah, it's good. With my healthcare, I got like discounts on things like the Apple Fitness app.
Yeah, I got Peloton, I think.
Yeah, Janie uses Peloton, but we also have the Apple, and it's like one of the same. It's like the same exact thing. You just watch the classes and all that. I think Peloton's geared a little heavily more towards the millennial demographic, and Apple Fitness is I think for a little older folks, like, or it's either that or it's more like aimed for everybody. But I've noticed that, like Peloton, I did a stretch class with Janie, and it was like the Weekend themed, like the musical artist The Weekend.
Yeah.
And during the entire time, she was like, "All right," she's like, "and go into this pose. We're gonna hang there." And also, just like taking this Weekend, isn't he a musical genius? He writes his songs like this, and she'll go into this like 1 minute, 2 minute spiel about how great he is and like different like facts about him. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't know. But if you're a fan of The Weeknd, I could see that being something that could be, fun, because you're like, yeah. And then you're like yelling at the little screen, like, actually you're wrong. It was in 2015 when he like wrote that. But
I think that they're a little bit onto something there, because for sure, I would say the difference between a good workout instructor and a bad one is that a good one will kind of, when you're doing a hard workout, they'll kind of make you like they'll pass the time faster.
Yeah.
So for instance, let's say you're doing a wall sit for 45 seconds. The 45 seconds won't feel like a real 45 seconds because they've kind of kept you distracted in some way.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's generally why people like doing classes, in general.
They're just sitting by themselves.
Yeah, you get a little more, you feel like somebody's pushing you. And
oh, for sure.
If there's other people involved, and, you're kind of like judging.
I think it's pretty
yourself.
hard to work out on your own.
Yeah, just like, oh, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Was
Easy
an
to give
interesting fact is Jane Fonda, the actress and entertainment personality, she made home workout videos like popular, and it was like something that nobody anticipated being like a big success. And she, I think, like structured the deal where she like made X amount of money per tape sold or something. But it ended up being like she sold millions of copies of this like VHS like workout tape.
Nice.
And like basically made it like popular, a popular thing where people would buy it and work out at home, and like a home fitness type of thing.
Yeah.
I think it was back in maybe it was the 80s or something like that. Wow. I can't remember, but it's certainly weird. Now we have, apps on our phones and stuff where you can just in moments, and they'll like call you out too, while you're working, if you do it live, right? Because some of them are live.
Really? And there's a camera?
No, they'll be like, they'll call you like, oh, Trixie 77, looks like this is your 100th class, like congratulations.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a good way to feel, to connect with your audience, I suppose.
Yeah. I feel like one of the first kind of classes that became really popular, what was it, like Zumba or something like that?
There's Zumba, yeah.
That was
Zumba, yeah.
Which was like
dancing and stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like they kind of started that thing where it was like you go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And you go with a group of people and you do something. And then since then, it kind of became a thing where it was like gyms would have stuff like that, like classes.
Yeah, Zumba classes.
And then now I feel like it's a lot more online.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of like workout influencers.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Where most of them are like, join my program. Mm-hmm. And some of them are like, it's entertaining. It's better than just going to a random class.
Yeah.
So I think that's been a popular thing because of that, of people just wanting to feel like they know the person and
be able to connect with like the person that is doing the class. Definitely would help. I mean, I think a lot of the people on Peloton and Apple, they all like have their own like Twitter and Instagram.
Oh yeah.
But I think COVID also like boosted the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't go to the gym, and I wonder if the numbers have like been from people who are signed up for those types of services like Apple Fitness or whatever. I wonder if those numbers had dropped off back when COVID kind of dissipated, or if they've like still been able to hold on to those subscribers, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to imagine that they've definitely dropped off. Just thinking about like people, if you take just this example, so a lot of people who worked in an office either had a gym at their company, at their building or something,
right.
or they just went to the gym on their way home or whatever. And then when they were working from home, they had less of a reason to go to that gym, and maybe they worked out at home because they had lived in an apartment or whatever, maybe they're just doing different workouts. And I think that a lot of people have started going back to the office. So I'd imagine that population a lot of them have started going back to the gym. And then there's, of course, just people who want to be at a gym because they don't have one at home. So they have to go to a gym. And then in general, I think that like there's a social aspect to it too. Versus like we talked about, if you're just at home by yourself, it's a lot easier to give up, not push yourself, whatever. Whereas if you're at the gym, you see other people pushing themselves, and
it's kind of like motivating, and also some people like it because they meet new people, and I'm more of a like I like to separate my things away from my home, and like make certain parts of my home dedicated to like certain things. Like in my bedroom, it's just for sleeping. I don't like hang out in my bedroom. I don't like read or like work. I'll work on my laptop when I lay in bed. For me, like having that gym to go to outside of my home is probably like what I would prefer, because it feels like it's like a place where I just do that.
Right.
I would love to have like a dedicated room in my house where that's just for working out, and everything, you don't do anything else in that room but just work out. Because then it's like then it becomes a convenience factor to where you're like not having to drive 15 minutes somewhere, even if it is on your way home, you still kind of like have to go there and then like drive home afterwards. It's nice to just go straight home, immediately throw on your, and then you can like shower right afterwards. You don't have to like ride in your car all smelly and shit.
Yeah.
So, there is like that convenience, but I would want like a dedicated space just for that. Cause it feels weird when I'm like working out. Cause we do have like kind of like a space like that, but it's also shared with like as a guest room. So there's like a bed in there. There's like a closet and like other, bookshelves and things like that. I would prefer it. None of that was in there. It was just like mirrors on the wall and like, weight racks and things like that, and like resistant bands hanging from the wall, and like, maybe a TV where you could like throw up the Peloton app, workouts and stuff. But it's kind of a hybrid situation at the moment.
Need more rooms.
Don't need more rooms. I don't. I have enough rooms. But if I remove that, now I have one less guest bedroom for when people come.
So you need more rooms.
House. I need one of those Murphy beds, where it just folds up and you like set it and forget it, and it's never you never see it again.
You don't have guests.
That's the easier one.
Tell them like, oh, sorry, I don't have a bed. You can sleep in the weight room if you want.
Yeah, you can sit in my smelly weight room. Also, like working out on carpet. Like, I gotta imagine is probably like easier on your joints because there's some like cushion to it. But I generally don't love like working out. Like, I like wearing tennis shoes when I work out.
Yeah.
It's just like if I like something tight around my feet, like something that's gonna grip if I'm moving back and forth or something. Obviously I don't run on a treadmill without shoes, so it's like that feels a little more like gets me in the mindset of working out. And working out with shoes on carpet, or even if I'm working out on carpet without shoes, it's kind of weird. I don't know, it's just not, it doesn't like fit the vibe that I'm going for, if that makes sense.
For sure. I think that the best kind of workout space is like the rubber kind of ground.
The rubber front, yeah.
And then I don't know. I like being able to go somewhere else too, but also, we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so one of them's the office, one of them's the bedroom. Yeah. And if we are not gonna go to the gym where they have machines and stuff, or we're gonna do more of like just squats, like a leg workout or something. We'll do it in our living room.
Calisthenics or something.
Yeah. But, you know, my downstairs neighbors probably don't really appreciate it.
Yeah, because you're jumping around and stuff. Yeah, I get that. They're like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, they never complain. I lived in a place in Atlanta where if you walked across the house in shoes, you'd get the broom into the ceiling.
Man, shut the fuck up. Stop walking around.
I know. And I'd be like, I'm sorry that they built the apartment with like one sheet of wood between each floor. This isn't like, I can't do anything about it. I had to walk through the apartment, and that was annoying. But sometimes we'll work out where we're doing, you know, some kind of a little bit of a jump, like jumping jacks.
Yeah.
And I've never heard a peep from them. They never complain. Maybe somebody doesn't live down there. They died a long time ago. No one's found their body.
Oh, wow. Dude, wouldn't that be crazy if like it's been happening for 6 months every time they're boom, boom, boom. And then you go down there. Yeah, and you find out, like, nobody's lived there for 6 months. In fact, they died 6 months ago. You're like, what?
The people above me, I can hear them when they, like, vacuum sometimes. You know what I mean? Which is, like, not very often, which is kind of weird. But then they play music a lot of times. Yeah. And they have a
subwoofer.
Yeah. So I can hear the boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. And I'm like, God damn it, it's 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday.
What the fuck are y'all doing down there?
And then I walk into the bathroom and I can hear the lyrics because the vents and stuff. Yep. And then, so that's annoying. I should take the broom. I don't want to be that guy. Also, it's like a 10-foot ceiling, so I don't think I could reach.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those long ass poles.
And then I'd need a broom.
Stool.
Yeah. But no, the people at the place I lived where they could hear it, where they'd hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
The day I was moving out, something fell. Like it was like a drawer or something fell onto the ground. It was loud, and all of a sudden I heard boom, 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 and so I jumped up and down really hard.
You just gotta give one good large stomp across the room.
Because I was like, I'm moving out today. Yeah. I don't give a crap.
You just like intentionally dropping like really large things on the floor the entire move out day. Yeah.
It's like come up here and face me.
Yeah.
I want to see you.
Stop with the just come up and have a conversation, and then you'll learn that I'm a really nasty boy because it's
nasty
day.
Actually, the people who live above me now, this is a really weird thing, but it'll be like Wednesday morning and I'll be in the bathroom peeing whatever, and I'll start hearing ugh, like someone's throwing up upstairs in the bathroom above me. Yeah, it happens all the time during the week.
They're like an alcohol, or maybe they're going through chemo or something,
or
something sad.
There's a lot of, I mean, listen, that's less likely to be the case because the night before there was and
they're like, shots. You're like, oh, we're gonna hear some chunks flying tomorrow. Yeah, it's so weird. If you ever have sex in your bathroom, just immediately those people above you and below can hear everything. Can hear everything. Because I remember the same thing when I lived in an apartment. You'd hear conversations in the bathroom. You'd hear people grunting.
Sometimes I'll hear a phone alarm, like
because it's like right next to the bedroom.
And I'll be like, is that my phone? And I'll look around, and then I realize it's in one of the other apartments or something. And then sometimes I'll hear the fire alarm, like and I'm like, mine's not going off. Is it on a different part of I think it's just someone else's in one of the other. But it happens all the time. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
And sometimes they don't realize that you can hear them, and maybe in those times it's like best to like, instead of you doing the broom trick, you just like kind of freak them out, like sit on the toilet and go, oh God no, God no. Just like, and then throw up like
or make it
sounds.
Make it like in a domestic abuse kind of thing.
Oh shit!
Like, oh no, no,
well,
don't.
They may
don't
call the
hit
cops.
me. And then you're like, you stupid son of a,
Yeah.
or daughter of a, and then you make a beating noise,
Mhm.
and then the police come
Some
to your
gunshot
door.
noises that you pull up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't.
One time it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I get a knock on the door, and I was like, oh, that's weird. We were in bed probably for like the last hour, just reading, whatever. And I get this knock on the door, and I go, and I'm like, who is knocking on my door at 10 or 11, right? Because then you're kind of sketch, right?
Yeah, you're like, that's a peephole out. Those are peephole hours.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you're just opening the door.
So I look out, and there's no one there. And I was like, oh,
no.
shit, someone's playing with me, right?
Oh, no.
So I crack the door open, and I look down, and it's this bigger guy. He's like the
Night watch.
Night watch, yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, oh, what's up? And he goes, hey, are you drilling into your floor? And I was like, definitely not. And I wouldn't have been doing anything that would have been making a noise like that, or like really any noise.
Yeah.
And I'd just been sitting in bed, and he was like, oh, okay, thanks, and then left.
Damn.
I know.
One time I was destroying some hard drives on my patio in my apartment. I may have told this story before on the podcast, but I was instead of like I don't think I had like a drill bit that proper for this, but I ended up taking some hammers, put them on my deck, and just started banging the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So loud. And the way that my apartment buildings were set up, it was in such a way where you made a loud noise and it would echo throughout between the buildings, and just like it was really loud. So from like, you know, on the other building across the parking lot, you could probably hear it pretty well. Well, like 30 minutes later, I get a knock on my door, and it's the cops, and they're like, yeah, we're just checking him. There's some like reports of some gunshots. And I was like, yeah, I didn't have a shirt on. So I had like a hammer in my hand, you know,
Like this?
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Yeah. Excuse me. And I was like, yeah, that was probably me. I was banging on some hard drives and trying to like destroy them. And they were like, they didn't even second guess. They were just like, oh, okay, yeah, that checks out. And like, have a good day.
Yeah, they were like, let me see the hard drive.
Yeah, we need to inspect it to make sure it doesn't have any bad stuff on it.
Yeah.
No, I guess maybe that's a common call. I don't know.
I can't imagine it is.
So many people do it every day. It's like, you know, there's probably a holiday of like get rid of your hard drives day.
I was sitting in my bed the other day. It was like around lunchtime. I had just gotten done with you know, mid work day. I was taking a little break. I sat in my bed. I was watching YouTube, and then I hear a legitimate explosion. Like I thought that somebody set, because the way my apartment is it's the area I live in. It's basically a rectangle.
Yeah.
And in the middle, in between the rectangle is the courtyard where the pool and stuff is. And I am sitting there and I hear this explosion, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Did
because
it rattle the windows and shit?
I don't even remember, dude. It was like that where I just thought, holy shit, something's happening. This is insane. So I hear this explosion, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I thought I need to look out the window real quick, and I look out, and there's these guys like SWAT people walking through the door into the courtyard, and I'm like, fuck.
Like how many people?
There were probably 6 of them.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I'm like, good or bad? Don't know. They have guns and gas masks. Yeah. I feel like I don't want to be near the window. So I go back and sit on the bed, and I'm like, what do I do? And I wasn't sure what to do. So I called the police. Like I literally called 911.
No shit.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, there's these like pretty heavily armed. They literally had ARs.
What the fuck?
And I was like, I just
have
heard
like police on there, on like
no,
nothing.
I mean, I couldn't maybe like I couldn't really see. At one point, this guy had a shield, and I could then see it said Douglas County Sheriff on it. But that wasn't until later. And so I call him, and I'm like, hey, like I heard Nick, because I'm checking my email too. Because there was a time when I got an email that said shelter in place, like firearm incident. And I live in a good place, guys, by the way. It's not like I live in South Africa.
This happens all the time, you know, everywhere else.
Yeah.
Too.
But Yeah, so I call him and I'm like, hey, I heard an explosion and now I see some armed guys in my apartment building. Can you tell me if there's something going on? And the guy on the other end, the dispatcher, he's like, oh yeah, there's police activity going on. Just stay in your apartment. You don't need to like leave or anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, how do I know when I can not be in my apartment anymore? And he was like, oh, good question. I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll call back later. And then I hung up and then I watched out there and I heard it was either one or two more loud bangs.
Yeah, like flash bangs.
Yeah, and I saw one. So it was basically happening. I could look out the window on the first floor, bottom corner. I could see what was going on down there. And it ended up being just like Douglas County's SWAT unit out there. And eventually guys came from the inside out and the guys from the outside like went up to them. And then but I couldn't figure out what happened.
Yeah, somebody was drilling into their floor.
Yeah,
so
right.
They called the SWAT team.
They're building a tunnel.
Yeah,
they're probably Hamas or something.
Yeah. He kept banging, using the broomstick and banging it. So some guy just got sick and tired of it and said, "There's fucking child pornography downstairs." I know it.
Yeah. So I don't know whatever happened. I once asked my apartment management about a different incident, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have to tell you, go talk to the police." And so I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't want to pay like $100 to get a police report. So I never found out what it was.
Oh, true. Yeah. Cause that shit costs money, right?
Yeah.
I think, I wonder what it could have been. Maybe like human kidnapping or,
I know, our dad, I talked to my dad and he said that one time he went to an apartment or like a home or something where a bank robber had robbed a bank and then went there and then they found out and went to the place and did something similar. So it just could be anything like something like that.
Stuffing cash down the toilet or something.
Wait, why down the toilet? What?
Yeah, try to get rid of the evidence.
Oh, why would you get rid of it?
Because if it's less
like
money,
not
then,
me.
Well, the amount of money you steal dictates your sentence. So it heavily influences that type of thing.
Would it influence it if it's like...
because in California you can steal like under $1,000 worth of stuff without like serious penalty.
So maybe he robbed a Walgreens.
They lock up a bunch of their shit now in Walgreens.
You know, it's crazy. He has like one of the person, whoever it is, has one of the larger apartments in the building.
Damn.
Yeah.
Drug dealer then?
Probably.
The fentanyl. He's dealing the fentanyl.
Yeah. Is that a...
It's the new stuff. It's like the new fentanyl.
Fentanyl and PCP.
It's like basically the better fentanyl, you know.
Like better high or
it's like the generic. It's like the generic.
Kills you
fentanyl.
Less.
It's like twice
the generic one.
It's like a lot cheaper and
isn't that all the fentanyl on the street?
Yeah,
it's the generic one.
Yeah, the generic fentanyl. It's in everything, baby. In your snow cones, in your eyelash remover liquid. It's in Coors Light.
I don't think so.
But you know where it's not?
Bud Light.
Bud Light, baby. Oh yeah. Crack yourself open a Bud Light today.
Bud Light. It's like Budweiser, but lighter.
But lighter. Yeah.
Bud Lighter.
Oh. Bud Light, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, we just came up with your next commercial. Hire us.
We saved Bud Light.
We saved Bud Light from basically everything. I wonder if like they have bounced back in a way where like it's still not as good as it used to be, but it's like, okay, we're back, but we're
So I know whenever I see like how it affected them, the worst case they're always saying in the articles is like they lost 25% of their Bud Light sales.
Yep.
Which is actually not that bad. But this 6-pack was $11 at the liquor store, which I'm like, wow. I was expecting a disc. I almost asked the lady why it was so expensive.
Yeah, why is it not cheaper? Why isn't it not $2?
Right. The think it's like the 22 pack or 24 pack or whatever
Yeah.
of the cans was like $20 something.
Yo, that's actually low key expensive. I remember when those were like $7.99, $9.99. Those 6-packs.
The 6-packs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even those 20 something packs, weren't they like $19 or something?
I wonder if you went to like somewhere like Walmart or like one of those cheaper.
True that. Yeah.
The liquor stores, I expect to have a higher markup on things,
Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm basically paying $2 for a Bud Light, which is kind of weird.
Unacceptable.
For like maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah.
but now Bud Light, I'm like,
Now Bud Light,
it should be at least 75% of the old cost.
I need coupon codes. Give me the coupon codes. Yeah, seriously, they should be paying me to drink it.
Because who drinks it still?
A lot of people still. I mean,
people
I feel like people who were like, "Yeah, Bud Light, fuck them," Really? They're back to. Hey, get your ass down, man. This is the episode where my cats come in and just fuck everything up. Hey, get your ass down. Hey, get down. Of course, he's not gonna listen to me. Anyway, what I was saying is,
dick.
I think those people are drinking Bud Light again, or just never stopped, or just told their friends like, "Yeah, fuck Bud Light, right?" And then like went home and had it cracked open a nice old ice cold. Because like if you like it, you like it, and especially like a lot of Bud Light's demographic are like 35-year-olds. At that age, I've come to realize like you should at this point in your life know what you like and what you don't like. You're still trying new things, but there's less new things to try. And so you kind of have a well-rounded understanding of like maybe who you are, what you enjoy more than like things that you just don't love. And it's not because you're like picky eater. It's just like you just don't like them. Like for me, black olives of any kind, just not for me. I don't anticipate ever in my lifetime being like one day going, you know what, olives, not bad.
Yeah.
I'm kind of past that point in my life where I'm like, turning the corner on certain things. Like margaritas, never used to like tequila, just wasn't for me.
Same.
3 years ago or whatever, just fell in love with them, had my real romantic period of margaritas. Now I love them. Now it's like my go-to drink. While you're ordering a Blue Moon, I'm ordering a margarita.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Also, I mean, like we always give Bud Light a lot of shit, but it's a really, really consistent taste. Like it tastes the same every time you have a Bud Light.
Yep.
And it has a pretty distinct taste too. I don't know if I could say if there was a lineup of beers, which one was Bud Light, because I don't drink it that often.
I definitely could.
But I could tell you that it's going to taste different from the other ones.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I could probably in a taste test, I could tell you. Like if it was like Bud Light, Stella, Heineken, and Coors Light, I could definitely tell you which each of those.
Okay, I probably could. Maybe not Heineken. I really rarely drink that. But between Stella, Coors, and Bud Light, I can really tell the difference.
Yeah.
But then Stella tastes a lot different than either of those.
Stella tastes more like Heineken does than it does a Bud Light. And what's interesting, and for those of you who drink Bud Light, you know what I'm talking about, is the aluminum can Bud Light tastes different than the bottled Bud Light. It just does. It just does. Don't try to fight me on this, and I'll go to my grave with it.
Okay, if you pour it out in the glass, does it taste the same?
I don't know. It has something to do with the aluminum. It has something to do with like the can, the metal.
Right. So I know one thing for sure is that like the light through the like
bottle.
If the light can hit the actual beer, it can change the taste of it, which is why Heineken has a dark green bottle.
Right.
Because it's a import.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes much of a difference, but I can imagine if you're in a can, you're not getting any light.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what it is, but I can definitely tell the difference. Obviously from just the feel of it but like also just like the taste profile.
It may. I mean,
and I prefer the can over the bottle. I do. If you put up the the aluminum pint, the regular bottle, and like just the 12-ounce can, I'm going to the 12-ounce can 10 out of 10 times, because it just I think through my college years that's what we drank. What are we drinking this weekend? Oh, get a 24-pack of Bud Light cans, and it grew on me. It's kind of nostalgic. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that a bottle is kind of what you drink when you're just one to chill and have a Bud Light.
Yeah.
A can is like you can drink it a little faster.
A bottle of Bud Light is like what you get when you go to a hotel bar.
Yeah.
You go to a hotel bar and you ask for a Bud Light and they give you the bottle and you're like, this just feels right.
Right.
But
and you're like, I probably shouldn't have ordered this.
Yeah.
Because it's a can. I should have just gotten Stella or something.
Yeah, you're probably now being judged by everybody around you because you're at a Hilton instead of like a DoubleTree or something, or like a Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Holiday Inn, Bud Lights in a
Right.
bottle all day. Hilton, like the proper Hilton,
You
none
have
of
to get
those
a
like
craft
spin.
beer.
You get a Stella
Yeah.
probably over the Bud Light.
Mhm.
Yeah, or you could go a craft beer if you wanted to, But then when you're at the Four Seasons, you don't get bottled beers. You get whiskey straight neat.
Yeah.
Double.
And that's all they have.
That's what you're drinking at the Four Seasons, or a specialty cocktail like a habanero blackberry margarita, like we're drinking right now.
Yeah, you're staying at a real nice place for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's always the Hilton. They're about to close the bar because you came back late,
Yep.
but you're like, I need like 3 more beers. So you order 3 more beers and bring them to your room because you're not allowed to sit there anymore.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, it's a good night.
Yeah, you say bring the keg up to 106.
Yeah, and they say, yeah, sure. And then they charge you $100, but they don't actually bring it. And then you forget the next day because you're blackout drunk.
They brought the pillows that you asked for though, but not the Bud Light keg.
Right.
You go down and you want to talk to the manager. And then by the time the manager's like, it's weird because the staff told me that they did bring the keg, and then you go back to the room and the keg's there, but it's empty. And they're like, you drank all this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Are you just lying to us? And you're like, I swear this wasn't here when I left.
And then you go home and you get stuck at the parking gate of DIA.
Yeah.
And they don't answer. And you're like, fuck. So you break down the gate and you leave and you go home.
Yeah.
You come back to your house and your cat's there. And he's like, hey, did you forget to send the sitter? And you realize that you didn't have the sitter come because you've been drinking too much. And then you go to an AA class and you become sober for 5 years and you have your 5-year chip. And then you have a bad night and you go out to the bar and you have a Bud Light.
And that's what Bud Lights are for. That's what Bud Lights are for. They ruin and also enhance your life. I think that's where we're going to leave the Bud Light story at.
Yeah. And I think the next thing we're going to say is that the Florida State game's coming up and we have to end this podcast.
Yeah, it's been fun. All you people out there celebrating Halloween, if this comes out around Halloween, be happy spooky season. Happy what's in October? I don't know if there's any obscure days, but there is National Food Day. Don't forget about Frozen Food Day. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about Be Nasty Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mark your
Miles
calendars.
Day. Yep.
Yeah, Miles Day. Don't forget about Edible Book Day, the most important holiday of the year.
At the Lucky Duck bar is going to start serving edible books.
Edible books.
Pay us a visit. And
Tapas.
They're only $50.
Yeah, they're only $55 plus tip.
Plus tip.
And tax.
Yeah, the tip is included. It's 25%.
It's gratuity is built into the price. So we said 55.
Yeah, it's like $67.
$70. All right, folks.
Comes with a Bud Light though.
Comes with a Bud Light. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for listening, and until next time, adios.
Go to bed.